Okay, what's up YouTube? I'm back with another video. And today's video, we're going to be going into more of the science. Okay? Now, I'll give you all a heads up warning. YouTube has made an announcement that by December 10th, they're going to start pulling YouTube channels, terminating them. So, if my YouTube channel gets canceled, gets terminated, you can email me, or if you have my backup channel, you go to my backup channel, or you can email me at hebrewstonegroes@gmail.com if you want to get in contact with me, just in case my YouTube channel gets terminated. Okay? Now, we're going to be coming from a couple of different sources, to talk about this science, this high science. So we're going to be coming from this book right here, The Ancient Secret of the Flower's Life. And we're going to start from right here. Okay? Most of this stuff I talked about already in my previous videos. Okay? We're going to come right here. This is on page 148. Okay? Now listen to this. Now think of yourself standing in a dark room near the door to a second room. You are ready to go into the second room, which is very, very dark. You can barely see the door leading into it. You go into the second room, close the door behind you, and it's pitch black. When you are faced with that situation, you have the ability to project a sensing beam from your third eye area. What is the third eye? You should know what that is by now. And you can also sense from your hands. You can actually sense from any chakra, but people usually do it from their third eye of their hands. You can project a beam of consciousness into that dark room for a certain distance. It might only go an inch, or maybe you can feel outward a foot or two, and you just know that nothing or something is in that space. Your consciousness goes out this distance and then it stops. Your knowingness quits, and you don't know what beyond that. You probably all know what I'm talking about, though a lot of us have allowed that sense to retreat because we rely on our eyes so much. But some people, especially the ancient Egyptians, were really good at this. They could go into a dark room and feel all around and know if anything was there, even if they couldn't see a thing with their eyes. There are blind people who can also demonstrate this ability. We actually have 6 of these sensing rays, not just 1, but 6. They all come from the center of our heads, the pineal gland. One ray comes out the front of our head at the third eye, and another goes out at the back. One goes out of the left, and another out of the right side of our brain. And another goes straight up through the crown chakra, and the 6th straight down through our neck. Give me 1 second. One second. Okay. So since it goes through our neck, right? The 6 directions. The Egyptians believed that this innate aspect of consciousness is what allows creation to begin. They believed that if we didn't have this ability, creation would never have happened. In order to understand this process of creation on the deepest level, Egyptian students were told to imagine and enact the process we are about to go through. The following descriptions how they explain and practice it in their mystery schools. The way they learn isn't the only way it could have been done, but this is how they were trained. the dark background in this picture represents the great void, and the little I represents the Spirit of God. This right here. Okay, and it's going to tie back into the woman's womb, and our sperm cells are light, right? So it says here that the dark background in this picture represents the void, the great void, and the little I represents the Spirit of God. So here's the Spirit of God, right? They have it as the I, Ra, existing in the void, out of nothing. Imagine that you are that little spirit in the middle of the void. When you are in the great void, by the way, you will realize that you and God are one, and that there is no difference at all. After hanging out in the void for a long time, you probably will get bored, or curious, or lonely, and you will want to try something new, to have some new adventure in your life. First, create a space. Okay? So they're going through the motion. So spirit, right here, that's in this total darkness, the single eye shoots a beam of consciousness out into the void. It shoots this beam first to the front, then to the back, and then to the left, and then to the right, then straight up and down. This figure right here, 526. Spirit projecting consciousness into the 6 directions: north, east, south, and west, and in and out. Realize that whatever distance you project out front, you project the same distance out back, also to the left, to the right, up and down. The consciousness being projects the same distance in all directions for any one individual. Even though each one of us is different in how far we can project this beam, one of us might project an inch, another 2 feet, or another 50 feet. There is equality in all 6 directions. Okay, so now, so it started off as this black void, the void, blackness, right? And then comes this light. Okay? So then it starts creating objects, shapes. Okay? It's creating shapes. Now I can't go through it all, you know what I'm saying? But this is the process that it's going through. Okay? It's going through these stages. Right? The Vesica Pisces, through which light is created, and things of that nature. You know what I'm saying? It's going through all these shapes. This is your sacred geometry. Okay? Now, we're going to go here. It's not going to be a long drawn out video. So, this is thought. This is thoughts coming into motion. It's starting out as nothingness, straight total darkness, then light, right? Then it's creating these shapes, right? On how things should be made, right? It's going through all this stuff, right? Like here it says, the continual movement begins to form a vortex. This vortex motion creates different types of three-dimensional forms, one after another, which are the building blocks or blueprints of the entire reality. Okay, so it's going through all these shapes. Now, we want to go here. To right here. We want to go here, right here. The measuring stick of the universe, the human body, and its geometries. Geometry within the human body. It's easy to see how the 5 platonic solids influence the structural patterns of crystals and metals. Metals also have atomic latencies. It's simple to see the geometrical relationship of these types of molecules, but when you look at yourself, or it says, but when you look at yourself or at a baby being formed, it is much more difficult to see how this kind of geometry could have anything to do with us at all. Yet it does. In the beginning of your life in the womb, you were nothing but geometrical forms, right? In fact, all life forms, trees, plants, dogs, cats, everything, have the same geometrical and structural patterns running through them that ran through you when you were microscopic. Their very life and structural support depend on the forms. In fact, all life forms are these geometrical patterns, but it's not apparent to the casual eye. These geometrical relationships are important to perceive, not only so the left brain can realize the unity of all life, but for another reason, so that we can understand these electromagnetic structural patterns around our body and begin to recreate the living merkaba around us. So in the beginning is the sphere, the ovum, right? Figure 7.2 is a sea urchin or urchin egg with sperm swarming around it, right? And it says, I'm going to be talking primarily about human beings and human conception, but I'm actually discussing all life forms on Earth, because the procedure illustrated in the next few figures is identical for every life form known, not just humans, but everything. Every known life form begins as a sphere. It's the most female form there is, so it makes perfect sense that the female would choose that shape to form the ovum. So you have here the human ovum, right? Same thing with animals, dogs, cats, right? Same thing just like the sun. The sun is a nucleus, a yolk, right? I'm gonna show you a brother's channel you can subscribe to. You know what I'm saying? For more of this information, because he goes into it as well. But it says that the ovum is a perfectly round ball. Another example of a round ovum is inside a chicken egg. When you remove the yolk from a hard-boiled egg, you can see how perfectly round it is. All of us began as a sphere. I would like you to notice some simple things about this ovum. First, there is a membrane around it called the zona pellucida. Remember this because I refer to it over and over again. All right, things of that nature. Okay. Inside the membrane is a liquid. Okay. And it says that just like the chicken egg, there's another perfectly round sphere called the female pronucleus, which contains 22 plus 1 chromosomes, half the chromosomes necessary to create a human body. Okay? The number of chromosomes changes depending on the life form. And those particular chromosomes are different in every life form. Inside the zona pellucida are two polar bodies, right? It says that, so let's keep on going here. Now let's go over to the next page, right? So a lot of women know about, the sperm, the egg, and things like that. This is what's going on inside the woman's body. Same thing that's going on outside in the universe, okay? So the sperm and the sphere, right? So the sperm is right there, it's going inside. You know what I'm saying? You have the male nucleus and the woman's nucleus, right? We know about that, in that nature. And then it says here, the first human cell, right? Oneness in the human zygote, okay? After two pronuclei makes a Beseki Pisces, the male nucleus continues to permeate the female pronucleus until they are one. Right here, 7-7. So it went from this right here, the union of male and female pronucleus, right? Went to 2, right? And now they're forming one, right? And it says, at this time, it's called a human zygote, the first cell of the human body. So you began as a spear before you created your familiar human body. Actually, you were a spear within a spear. So before you even considered a human, what were you? Okay, that's for you to answer that question. The next thing you need to know is that the human zygote will not change size during the first 9 cell divisions. It's fixed as is the size of the outer membrane. Okay? The human zygote is about 200 times bigger than the average cell in the human body. So big you can actually see it with your naked eye. Okay, and things of that nature, right? So it's talking about it's going through the process, okay? Here's a mouse cell, a first cell of a mouse egg, okay? Now, we have here migration of polar bodies to form a central tube. So the next thing that happens in the conception process is that those little polar bodies begin to migrate through the zone of placenta. One goes down and becomes the South Pole, and the other becomes the North Pole. Then, out of nowhere, a tube appears, running right down through the center of the cell. Then the chromosomes break in half, and half of them line up along one side of the tube and another of the other half. This is a familiar image in human energy fields. It's very much like the energetics of a human, of an adult human. As you study this further, you will see that you have a similar sphere of energy around you. Okay? Now, okay, so, you know what I'm saying? You can read more about this on your own if you want. All right? Okay, so this book right here is called The Ancient Secret of the Flower of Life. Now, let's put this to the side, right? Let's put this to the side. Okay? And we are energy. I gotta keep on stressing, we are energy. Okay? Energy has no gender. Right? Now, let's do this. Okay. Now, this is the brother right here. His YouTube page is Black Light Spirit. Now, let's check this out.
According to the Bible, are we in heaven already? Well, let's see. In the beginning, God created the heaven and the earth. The heaven and the earth. A lot of people think the word "and" only separates something. The word "and" separates and brings things together at a certain interval. To say "and" is to point out one part of something that you're bringing together with another part of something. Because you're bringing things together as one in the same sentence. Meaning these things are coming together. So for him to say, in the beginning, God created the heaven and the earth, he is saying that heaven is here upon the earth. Okay? So he that is on earth is in heaven. That's what we have to understand here.
Now check this out.
There's a big difference in knowing that you are in heaven versus just thinking that you're on earth.
Now check this out. So we've all been trained to believe this. When we see the earth, we see this. Earth, and they say it's a planet. And they say this is what we're on. Right? Well, who told us this? We see this image in school, and we get this, right? We get this. Okay? Because we are stars. Right? This is some deep high science. Now.
So now, in the Bible, it explains kind of like it fell from heaven. Well, Understand that that is all mental. That is all spiritual. Meaning you fell to ignorance. You lost your way. You don't understand who you are anymore. You don't know thyself anymore. So therefore you fell from heaven. Fell from heaven within your own self. Within your own ways. Your own mind. Your own understanding. See? Because the spirit is heaven. And you are also in the spirit, that's what the firmament is. Now, this is the problem with thinking that you're just on earth. You need to know what earth actually means. Earth is not the sky. Earth is not the wind and the air that flows in these tunnels of heaven. No. Earth is literally the dry land.
And that's what earth is. So the earth is not a planet. The earth is the land that you stand upon. Right? Strong's Hebrew Concordance, earth. So what is the earth? The earth is land, the ground. We are made up of the elements. So, to prove that, if you were to go without taking a bath for a week or two, and you sit in the tub, and you look at the back of the tub, what are you going to see? Dirt. So you can do science. You can do your own science experiment on yourself, and take a sample of the dirt that comes off your body, and match that same dirt that's in the ground, and you will see that the same chemicals match. The same elements match. The same thing goes for the water. When you sweat, what is the water that you're sweating? Salt. If you ever taste your sweat, it's salty. Okay? Same water that's in the ocean. What water is in the ocean? Salt water. Okay? This is science. This is to know. Science to know, and theology is God. So science wants to know God. And to know God, you have to break God ass down. So when you break God down, you're breaking yourself down, because you and God are one and the same. So the earth is the land, the ground. Not this. Not this. You're standing on earth. And what is heaven? Heaven is let's go back here. Heaven is the sky that you see. So, you're standing on the ground that you came from, and you look up in the sky. That's heaven. So they say you gotta die to go to heaven. But heaven is the sky. You're looking at heaven. You are in heaven. You standing on earth and you looking up in heaven. So what are the stars? So they say planets. Okay, so they say these planets are light years away. That's what they tell us. They say these planets are light years away. So let's type in planets. Right? So this is how they lie to us. Because people don't ask questions. So you got planets, right? They give us shit like this, right? Jupiter, right? Planet Earth, the Moon, and Pluto and Mars and all that stuff, right? And they say that these planets are stars, and these stars are light years away. Okay? Now, let's go here. Matter of fact, let me do it on my phone. I got my eSword on my phone. Let's look it up. So you have here, in the beginning, God created heavens and the earth. Right? So the heaven is the sky, the abode of the stars. Right? The atmosphere. Okay? And the earth, they're telling you the earth is the land. The whole earth. Earth, inhabitants, land, country, ground, piece of ground, right? Soil. They're telling you what earth is. People of the land. Okay? So you are standing on earth and you are looking in heaven. So you're standing on earth and you are in heaven. Okay? Now, let's go here. So they say that these stars are planets. So if we would look outside right now, if we looked outside, there's a bunch of stars outside, and we see the stars is right in front of our face. Who's to say that that star that we're not looking at is not Sirius or Orion? Right? Because it's light. Right here. Let's go back here to, let's see. Let's go to verse 2, right? And it says, he created light, okay, was on the face of the deep and things like that, right? Go to verse 3. All right, and God said, let there be light. And what is light? Light of heavenly luminaries, moon, sun, and stars. So the moon is light, the sun is light, and the stars are light. Right? So we are made up of the elements. Stars are light. We are light beings. Beings made of energy. So when the physical body drops off, the elements that you came from goes back to their source, and the energy that you are made up of has no gender. It cannot be defined. It exists. So they're telling you that the moon, sun, and stars is light. They say that the sun is a star. Okay? The earth is the ground. Alright, let's keep on going. Hope y'all can understand this.
Right here on verse 10, it says, read with me. And God called the dry land earth. And to show you that he means that he's talking about only the dry land, he further on says, and the gathering together of waters called the seas. Right? So he's letting you know that the seas and the sky and the wind that's blowing in these tunnels of heaven is not the earth. Only the dry land. That's it. And that's the first major clue that we are in heaven right there. Is that earth only means the dry land. Right? Now we need to find out what is the heavens. Because he said the heaven and the earth. Meaning he joined the heaven and the earth together at some interval, at some point. So let's go in and see what the scriptures say about heaven.
So you don't have to die to go to heaven. Heaven is already here on earth. Look in the sky. That's heaven. Now let's go here to let's type in the human body. Elements. Right? Elements in the human body. Right? Oxygen, carbon, hydrogen, nitrogen, calcium, phosphorus. These are elements, chemicals. that makes up these elements that we see, makes us up. So the Spirit took on flesh, anthropomorphism, to make this flesh talk. These elements came together to put on this body, this suit. Right? Here's the chart. All right? Carbon, water. 75% water. 70% water. Right? So, you have water, carbon, hydrogen. What is hydrogen? H2O. H2O is another form of water, oxygen. Right? So this is 75% right here, your makeup of water. What does water do? Evaporate. What do you call it? Non-material?
Beginning, God created the heavens and the earth was without form and void, and darkness was upon the face of the deep. Darkness was upon the face of the deep of the dry land, right? And the Spirit of God moved upon the face of the waters, right? So the Spirit of God moving upon the face of the waters, that's the key understanding right there to have. This is why. I'm going to branch that scripture to this scripture. And the Spirit of God moved upon the face of the waters. And God said, let there be a firmament in the midst of the waters, and let it divide the waters from the waters. And God made the firmament, and divided the waters which were under the firmament from the waters which were above the firmament. And it was so. And God called the firmament heaven. He called the firmament heaven. But hold on. I thought God was in heaven. I thought we was trying to make it to heaven. Right? But he called the firmament heaven. So there must be a misunderstanding on what heaven is and where heaven is at. So you're not trying to make it to heaven. You're trying to maintain your heavens within. As above, so below, so within, so without. So the space or the expanse or the spirit, whatever you like to call it, the sky, the firmament, this is the heavens. You know, you are part of everything that you are witnessing here. These are the heavens, and this is what you breathe in. This is what we all breathe in. We all breathe in the firmament, which is the Spirit of God, right? The one Spirit. And since we're breathing in that sky, breathing in those heavens, that calls us to have the heavens within. So that means that the sky you're looking at up there is also within you. When you're looking up at the sky, that's looking at yourself without your body. That's seeing yourself without a flesh. And the reason that is because you are standing on your body. You are standing on the ground. According to the Bible, he made your body out of the earth, the ground. So man is made one part ground, earth, and one part sky, heaven, which is also known as the breath of life that they speak of in the Bible, that you're looking at right here on verse 7. Meaning you're actually part of the expanse yourself. You know, the expanse that you're looking at right now, the firmament that you're looking at, the space that you're looking at, you're actually a part of that expanse. That's what this means. So you even have a firmament within your body. You have the division of your waters, from your waters, with a firmament in between it, you know, which is your lungs and your breath and the spirit that
there's a divider, right?
Flows within you, parting and dividing your waters. You see? So, to answer the initial question, are we in heaven already? Well, you have it right here. According to the Bible, you are in heaven already. See, if he called the firmament heaven,
so we know that the firmament, heaven just means the sky. You're looking at yourself, the sky, without a body. The ground is earth. You're standing on it, from which you came from. The water that you see in the oceans, you have that in you. You're made up of that.
and you're standing right in the middle of the firmament, then there you go. You are in heaven already.
So the question is to ask yourself, what are you? Who am I and what are you? Because you're not a physical being. The physical body drops off. Then what are you called? And a lot of y'all can't even answer that question.
See? Now, what does that mean otherwise? What does that mean that you're in heaven right now? Well, let me pull up another scripture from the Bible to show you what that means. And here it goes. Have I said, ye are gods, and all of you are children of the Most High? That's what it means. That's what it means. See? Because according to the Bible, as we just now read earlier, is that the Spirit of God.
What is spirit? Spirit means breath, wind, air. So if the air that we breathe, in, what we call air, wind, ruach, in the Greek pneuma, right? Wind, right? If this ceased to function, we would die. Because this is the breath of life. This is what's keeping us alive. Right? Okay?
Moved upon the face of the waters. And I don't know, but the last time I checked, I came here upon the face of waters.
We are star stuff. The star stuff inside of our body consists of oxygen, carbon, nitrogen, calcium that was produced by red giants and supernova many years ago.
Too. So I think it's fair to say that I am that God, or that spirit that moved upon the face of the waters. Or should I say, we are that God, that spirit that moved upon the face of the waters. It was us. And this is why in the beginning it says, and God said, let us make man in our image. Let us make man in our image. Because the spirit that is in man is God. That spirit of man is God. The one spirit that connects us all. And what that means is that you are already in heaven. Okay? Now all you got to do is be the beautiful angel that he made you to be. You see? And these are the heavens that you are already in. As above, so below.
Okay, so you can check his channel out. Alright? And he has another video right here. Let me see if I have enough time to play it. The difference between spirit and soul. Okay? Elements, sound, vibration. Alright?
In 20th it's going to bring us to so much other understanding. Once everybody understands that there is a difference between the spirit and the soul. Okay? I done heard people say that the spirit and the soul is the same exact thing. And Christianity teaches that the soul is pretty much the physical world. That's terrible. You see what I'm saying? So real quick, everybody, what is the difference between the spirit and the soul? Okay? I just want to clear this up for everybody out there because I hear this come up again and again and again and again. This is how I make my videos. I listen to what I don't hear and then I try to put it back. Okay? So what I don't hear is anybody truly explaining the difference between the spirit and the soul. Even a couple of people that I follow even said the spirit and the soul is the same thing. Now, I believe that they're highly closely related to the point to where they're almost the same thing. But if we want to see what the soul do that's different than what the spirit do, that's why we got to separate them and see them. But yeah, they really are. They are one thing, technically. You know what I'm saying? While they're together like that. You see what I'm saying? But, so what is a spirit? A spirit is space, air. Okay? Now that spirit and that air gives way to fire, which is fire is the soul. Okay? So, spirit is an air element. That also means spiral, with the ability to torque, turn, twist, flow through and out, move around other elements, other particles. And in the process of that air doing that, see, when we talk about air in space, in magnetism, we're literally talking about one thing that's different things that are interconnected within each other to make this one thing. So, space or spirit is an air element. Okay? Now, what does that space create from turning and torquing? As we know, spirit also represents spiral, right? So what does that space create from turning and torquing like that? Okay? It creates fire. Soul fire. Solar. You see what I'm saying? Solar energy. Okay? And that creates the spark. You see? So, soul is a fire. And spirit is the space that torques, that turns, that creates the torch. Because the word torque is also torch. Okay? So from the turning ability to be able to turn, the spirit, the ability to spiral, the space, the universe, all stirring up and spiraling, right? You see? So, the spirit's ability to do that is causing the torque to have a torch, a light. Okay? Now, that light is what we call a soul. So that will make, literally, stars souls. Okay? Their magnetism, space, that is spiral to make other things. You see what I'm saying? And you got to keep in mind that star means stir. In other words, spirit spiraling. The spirit will be the space, will be the black space. Okay? And the soul will be the stars, the fire that space produces. And that.
Okay. I'm almost out of time. Then he has another video you can check out. Check out all his videos because he has some powerful stuff on his channel. Okay. Like here, this one.
I just want to clear something up for people real quick to, fix their perception about what death really is and what life really is. Okay, because everybody's perceptions have been rearranged about everything. You see, about every single thing their perception been rearranged about. And death and life is one of those things that their perception have been rearranged about. Okay? So, let's start off by telling everyone that most people today look at death as the departure of the spirit departing from the body. Okay? The spirit departing from the body. They call that death. Okay? Now, y'all hear them use the word they passed on or they passed away, right? That means they're continuing on their journeys, right? Okay? So, we know that the spirit is life. And that death is a material. Okay? This sweater is dead. This flesh is dead. The only thing that's alive in it is my spirit.
Like, you know, when our skin starts to shed, we have dead skin, or like when an animal sheds its fur, the fur is dead, right? And the molecule in that animal is cooking up to bring forth new fur. Just like when your skin starts to peel. Your skin is peeling, it's dying, and it's coming back to life. So you don't realize that you're dying every day. This flesh is falling apart. It's decaying every day.
Okay? Because only thing that is life is the spirit. That is the life. Okay? So
what is spirit? Ruach, wind. Let's go to the etymology. Now keep in mind that all these definitions are man-made words. So like I said, by these being man-made words, man is making up words giving meaning to what he does not understand. The word spirit derives from Latin spiritus, meaning breath. Has many meanings, most relating to a non-corporeal substance contrasted with the material body. You see that? So the non-corporeal substance, meaning the spirit, the wind, is non-corporeal. You can't see it. You can't touch it. And it contrasts. What does contrast mean? It binds. It's blended together with the spirit, with the material body, with the dirt, the ground, the dirt, the elements in the ground, and the water in the ocean, and the stars in the sky. All that stuff comes together. It's stirring up like a vortex, and it's taking on shape and form. Now remember, it all came from thoughts. Because before you and your mother came together, what were you doing? Who were you and what were you doing? So, spirit etymology. Animating or vital principle in man's and animals. Spiritus, a breathing respiration of the wind, breath, inspiration. Inspire or expire. Right? When you expire, that means you're dying. Just like when you're on your driver's license, it said your driver's license is about to expire. So they're saying if your driver's license is about to expire, that means they're saying that you're about to die. But that's not true. How can your driver's license expire when you are still alive? So that's another way of them making money. Okay? Spirare, to breathe. Try to hold your breath.
spirit is the death. You see, that's why when you see someone that died, what are you calling death? You're calling the body a dead body, right? Because death is a material, okay? It's a material. Because this is dead. This is dead.
Like, let's take for example. If I had a piece of paper, right? One second. Show you. So I'm doing scientific experiments right now. I don't have to have on a white lab jacket to make it seem like I'm all sophisticated and all this type of stuff. So, we have this piece of paper, right? This piece of paper that I'm holding in front of me is basically dead. It's not moving. But if I blew on it, what is it doing? It's coming to life. But right now, it's just dead. It's not moving. It has no motion. It has no life. But if I breathe on this paper, it becomes life. It comes to life. It's moving. It has motion. You see that?
This beanie cap is dead, and the flesh is dead. The material is the death. Okay, in the Bible, they call this place, the physical stuff, they call it the wastelands. And they call it wastelands for multiple reasons, okay? This is the waste of all the energy above to make this place. It's the waste of the cosmos, okay? So this is all the waste down here. Not only is this all the waste down here, but in order for you to be born, you have to come through the waste products, okay? You come, a man use his private to urine out his waste, to let go of his liquid waste. And he also have his colon to let go of his matter waste, right? So you come out of the waste products. You come out of the waste organ into another waste organ, into the pit or the bottom of the stomach, which is the waste area. And when you are delivered, the organs that you're delivered out of are all under your waist line. You see, when a baby is delivered, the baby is delivered under the waistline. So this is the wastelands. So you come out of the waste product, all right? So all this waste down here makes up your flesh, okay? This is how you get dead skin. That's waste, okay? So death is a material of some kind or another. No matter what the material is, it's a material. A waste, a byproduct of the energy. You see what I'm saying? So, since death is the material and spirit is the life, what most people be looking at as death today is really the life separating from the material death. Okay? Material death. In other words, the flesh or the physical body or the material is really just the residue of the resonance. Okay? It's the residue of the resonance. Alright? So you have a resonance, a frequency resonance that created your flesh. The physical stuff is what you're looking at here. That's what's going on inside of this zygote, this egg right here. That's why I got the piano here, and I also got your birth chart right here, so you can see for yourself that this is exactly what's happening. Your spirit is basically a music tone, a frequency, a resonance that you designed yourself with. So you basically then danced yourself electric groove into this life. You see what I'm saying? And this is why you like music so much, once again.
So I'm going to stop my video right here. Click subscribe to this brother's channel, Black Light Spirit. Okay? Just broken it down for you. You are, your body is made up of these elements. Hydrogen, oxygen, nitrogen, phosphorus, and carbon. These are chemicals. You are a walking bomb, walking atoms, walking elements. So once the flesh drops off, the elements goes back to their source. Okay? And that's high science, and that's facts. Okay? That's facts. So the earth that you've been trained to believe, this, somebody gave this to us. Right? But the earth, we're standing on it. Stand on the earth. And the heaven is the sky. So with that being said, I say peace.